Good day, beautiful people, and welcome to Minerals Monday Live, where we explore the energy and healing properties of various stones. Today's wonderful stone, one of my favorites, is Topaz, specifically Imperial Topaz. Don't be afraid to say hi in the chat. And for all the newcomers, my name is Alexia, and I spent a lot of time in the mining halls at Hearst Mining Hall at the university with a set of shovels and picks and goggles going through samples of rocks. And then I also worked in the laboratory with the electron microscopes to study them at the subatomic level. So welcome, and thank you for the likes. I wanted to start with a crystal ball meditation so we can just have a moment of silence. And for those on replay, I will be time stamping the various topics, so you can just hit the button in the description box. All right, let me see if I can find the chatters. Let's see if I can find the chatters. Don't be shy. We have a wonderful group of very positive chatters. Now, topaz comes in very, very many different colors. A lot of them are treated or not natural, but the Imperial Topaz, which comes from Oro Prieto in South America, is extremely natural. And I just love its golden and brown hues. It is an excellent stone to use for communication and communication purposes. The Imperial Topaz is somewhat rare. So for anyone who has any form of topaz, don't hesitate to take a break. Go ahead and grab your rock, because we're going to be here for the first hour or so doing political tarot reading. And then we're going to do our crystal energetics and properties session in about 1 hour. All right, so stick around, and don't be afraid to introduce yourself in the chat or ask questions, specifically political and world event questions, in the comments. Thanks so much. All right, so on this week, I'm going to be doing a focus on Ron Johnson from Wisconsin, because my family is from Wisconsin. But right now, I have had a viewer request to look into March 4th to see what's going on with the GQP and the insurrectionists from January. So I'm going to take out my America deck. This is my career deck. And oh, by the way, this is my topaz. I have London blue topaz. Whoops, that was a little brief dive on there. And they are blue, as you can see, very deep blue. All right, and there goes our crystal ball. So in order to look at a preview of March 4th, I wanted to ask the cards. Oh, and thanks for coming, everyone, today. I really appreciate it. I want to take a look at March 4th, because if there's going to be acts of violence perpetrated, I would really appreciate in the United States if the universe would share with us a word of caution. And if not, then I would like to know in advance. My numbers are coming up for 19 right now. I do not expect a lot of activity on March 4th at the Capitol. But we're going to go ahead and look at the Capitol. on March 4th, 2021. Today is March 1st, so let's look at our March 4th capital forecast. All right. Basically, this is a GQP party forecast to see what the factions within the Republican Party have planned and how it will play out for Thursday, March 4th. And thank you. I wanted to thank all our spirit guides for coming today to share with us, because we are American citizens. We have voted in and elected a new president. And we are having some issues with some people who are delusional, thinking that the former guy is still in charge. But, reality is Joe Biden is currently president. So that is the current belief by some QAnoners that actually is not, they're not believing that. So what's interesting is this really is about belief systems. And it is important for us to start interacting with other people who didn't vote for Joe Biden because they are American citizens. We do live together in varying states. And, it is time to reunify energetically the country because nobody's interested in civil war on our side. What we really want to focus on is passing the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. So we'll be looking at that as our next topic. Hello, Katrina. Welcome. It's nice to see you. So today's stone is topaz, once again, the communication stone. And at the top of the arrow, we'll be going over our topaz energetics. It's wonderful, especially for Pisces, Scorpios, and Aquarians are very, very, it's an extremely attractive stone for those signs. So let's take a look at the Capitol, United States Capitol in Washington, D.C. forecast for March 4th, 2021. And from the viewpoint of what is going to happen to the insurrectionists. In other words, I'm not interested in what they're planning. What I'm interested in is how are we going to be defending ourselves against a possible or alleged attack by the QAnon, essentially, or the GOP party faction on March 4th. So let's take a look at the United States on Capitol in Washington, D.C., and what will happen to the insurrectionists on that date. And then I'm going to also do a character spread of the people in charge, okay? At the bottom of the deck, I'm not surprised to see the Knight of Pentacles. This is the symbol for the GQP party. They formed a group of haters, essentially, who are welcome. That symbol down at the bottom is also in a negative aspect, the symbol of the KKK. And I think it's very obvious that this is a group of people who can sometimes wear white hoods, or that's a small group of them, and who worship a false idol, the golden Trump, and also what is the other symbol of white supremacy, or eugenics in general, of hatred. So that is basically, they're taking it from another level of just being propaganda and actually forming rash actions and taking actions under commands, because these are the army or the people or the actual insurrectionists. So this is the universe showing us the symbol of the insurrectionists. It's the Knight of Pentacles. What's going to happen to them on March 4th when they attempt something? We don't know what they're attempting, really. And then these are the four people's characters who are in charge. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So I'm going to turn them over so we can see the whole thing. Unfortunately, and this is what's going to happen to them, their attack, what this means when we have this major arcana or death card, means that they will be unsuccessful. Their attack will be terminated. So they will be stopped or prevented from causing any harm. This doesn't mean that someone's going to die on March 4th. It means that the attempt that the GOP QAnon faction is going to be terminated. Okay, they're not going to be successful. Because at the very foundation is the Empress. That's the United States of America. Literally, this is the card of America. This is the Statue of Liberty. That's right, because this is liberty, truth, and justice for all. Okay, so boom, they will be unsuccessful. It will be kibosh on them. Why? At the very recent past, which is this past weekend, there was a QPAC meeting. Many people had to make choices whether or not they were going to go with what they consider a new party or the new Trump party, as opposed to the old Republican Party. So these are the people inside the Republican Party who have to make the right choice to do the right thing, okay? And they haven't been. So this is what's saying is they've been standing down and not making the right choices. That's been getting a lot of people into trouble. This is the mob. Okay, yes, there is a mob planning an attack on DC at the Capitol on March 4th. This is them. They're coming with sticks and brooms and handles and stuff. They were armed with, light weaponry, stun guns and whatnot last time. This is the mob. Yeah, they're still there. So, yep, they're going to be there. They're going to be there. What's going to happen to them? Okay, so this is interesting. What's going to happen to these insurrectionists who show up at DC is the Page of Cups. They're going to make themselves look really bad. It's bad optics. This is a message that's going to be coming forth, excuse me, to the public about their activity that day, because it's going to be unsuccessful, whatever their MO, modus of operandi is. So what's going to happen to them is they're going to have a lot of bad optics. A lot of bad optics in the news about them. They're going to be making themselves look bad and shooting themselves in the foot. Yes. Oh, Eric Prince. Thanks for the reminder, Katrina. Now, these are the 4 character types of the leaders who are planning this whole thing. The first is the steal card, which is all about, the hashtag stop the steal. This is Vanilla Isis. This is actually influence from Near Eastern propaganda and people who are possibly even pro-Israeli, because this whole insurrection thing has got an extreme Israel undertone to it. Okay, so the character types are the people who are following Stop the Steal. Okay, somebody created the quote-unquote hashtag Stop the Steal. Okay, those are like Roger Stone and Steve Bannon. Like, they literally did research ahead of time to find out which hashtags would work the best, and they created Stop the Steal hashtag. So who's leading this thing on March 4th? None other than Roger Stone and the Stop the Steal hashtaggers, because somebody invented and created that hashtag, and that would be the Roger Stone group. The second group who's actually leading the white supremacists is a Middle Eastern, Near Eastern, foreign, possibly an ally, and that would point to a pro-Israeli group. So there, I have actually seen foreign nationals and international flags and groups of people who were arrested on January 6th. Where I live in Oregon, there were 9 men who were found on the beach, and 6 of them were arrested and charged with hate crimes on January 6th. They were all touring from Russia. Okay. So these are actually international factions within the Near East who are controlling the vanilla ISIS. This actually is ISIS and the Taliban. Okay, those are the leaders of who's planning the attack on March 4th. This isn't a person. This is the character of a person. Somebody's out for blood. Somebody wants to take out number 46. Okay, so there's someone who's leading a group of assassins. That's deep. That could be one person, or it could be somebody inside the GOP. We'll have to get clarification on that. Who is the leader of the insurrectionists who want to actually commit full-on assassination? Who, show us the character and show us, please, who's leading the assassination attempts. And I hope I don't get information suppressed. Now, just so you know, a lot of channels lately have been suppressed. So they, you'll see like way less viewers and stuff on these channels. One of my other channels that I watch mentioned that they're actually putting together an investigative team to find out what happened, because too many channels are reporting the same thing. So thanks for coming, Katrina, because unfortunately that's how few people are able to see these live streams now. Okay, so universe, please show us who's more about the person, the actual person in charge of the assassination attempt. Ooh, the dark web, the dark internet. Ooh. They're on the dark web. They're on the dark web. That's the Q. Look, it's Q. That's Q. It's the Q. Tell us more about the Q, universe. Wow. Tell us more about, it's a person who, tell us more about the Q. Oof. Queen of Pentacles, it's a group. They have a lot of hacking skills. See how they're holding data in their hands? They're Queen of Pentacles. Okay, from their perspective, they think that they're doing good, that they're for health and harmony. Okay, that's where they're coming from. Okay, that's what they think of themselves. Tell us more about the Q who's leading the assassination, because no religion says that it's okay to kill. No religion. That's jihadism. These are jihadists. This is the Q. Look at it. It's the dark web. It is the Q. I've never even pulled a reverse world before, you guys. It's like the first time ever. Show us the Q, not the Q group. Show us the Q who's leading the 10 of Swords, who's out. Oh, dark money, dark secrets. Secret, dark secrets. This actually has connections to Right now, the DNI, the DOJ, dark money, secrets, keeping the justice system quiet and under wraps. So, so what this is saying is the man Q who wants to actually take out literally President Biden, okay, is there because somebody has secrets. Somebody has a vault of data secrets. Okay, this is like WikiLeaks, Julian Assange, getting a big heavy hit from Julian Assange here. Okay, types. No, and I'm not talking Ed Snowden. I'm talking Julian Assange. Okay, it's the only name I'm getting here connected to the Q. And these people have absolutely the character type of no holds barred to get what they want. No holds barred. No holds barred. And they're doing it because they are all about data and information suppression. Cambridge Analytica, Mercer's, I don't know, Yandex. We don't seem to be buffering. Nobody's caught on to us because there's only a few people here. We're not having problems just speaking openly. This is excellent. All right, in the last position, these are the men. I hate to say it, but my intuition is telling me these are men. These are not women. This is a leader of another group. Okay, the group of sons. This has got to be, okay. In the Nostradamus, the sun and the sun class is the ruling class. So this is the people who are inside the Capitol. These are the insurrectionists, the complicit GOP. And because they came up as the sun, that's saying that what I'm saying is true, because there are only a certain set of cards within the tarot readings which verify and affirm truth, validity, what's the word I'm looking for? Accuracy. This is the card of accuracy. So it's saying that the complicit GQP members within the Senate who are also planning this March 4th incident, I'll just call it an incident that's going to be terminated because they're not going to be successful. It's going to be, the kibosh is going to be put on it. It's already getting kiboshed. What this is saying is these men and women, because that's like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Josh Hawley, and all those types. Cawthorn, I believe, is the new one. Focus on Cawthorn, and also, of course, Ron Anon Johnson. Okay. What it's saying is it is true that they are complicit in not just the insurrection on January 6th, but an ongoing attempt. Yeah. Now I am getting that the next set of numbers is the 19th. So I believe the next attempt is going to be on 4/19. That is the character of the leaders. Okay. Oof. Wow. But that was really interesting to find out about Q. Yeah. And I'm not saying it's Julian. Katrina's saying Rebecca, Cambridge. Yeah. Cambridge Analytica. That's a yes. That is a yes. Now, where did oh, guys, do you have any questions? We've got some time here today to ask more political questions. I know I had a couple for myself, but I could always use more political questions. Oh, here she is. My everyday tarot. Love it. Dun. All right. So let's just look at oh, I had something else to ask myself about March. I like to parse out my topics so I can sort of find some sort of resolution from the cards so that energetically I can clear them out and go to the next topics. Where's Eric Prince? How's Biden doing? Oh, what a great question. How is Joe Biden doing? Just on a personal level. I saw a great pic with him and his 2 dogs in the Oval Office. They look smashingly good against the blue carpeting. Eric Prince, what's Graham up to? Oh, wow. Okay, so let's do a quick dive into Navalny, because I have been following Navalny, but I haven't done a reading on him. And they've had a very successful smear campaign against him. I think he's being sentenced to 2.5 years. And it doesn't look good. In isolation, the MO is to break him, psychologically break him. And I saw the very first thing that the whole Navalny story to me really, really reminded me of Otto. And I'm really super concerned about Navalny because what they did to Otto was fatal. I mean, if you think you can just mess somebody's brain up that badly, because I don't know what kind of experiments they do on these people. So let's put up our first thing, a blessing, and send Reiki to not just Navalny, but all political prisoners, especially in Russia. So that would include Edward Snowden. I'm drawing the Reiki symbols, and we're going to send a giant wave of Reiki to Alexei Navalny right now in real time, because I basically, got that he knew what he was up for. So he didn't go in blindfolded. Okay, so let's take a look at the health and well-being. Well, I don't normally look at the health, so let's look at the well-being of Alexei Navalny and then what we can do to assist him energetically. My Russian deck will be perfect for this. This is the Russian tarot. Okay, let's see. I need a 9-card spread for Alexei Navalny so that we can really, really get some movement towards why isn't Russia being sanctioned over Navalny? Okay, because that's serious, you guys. I do quite a few readings on political prisoners. I did one on Meng Wanzhou and the 2 Canadian Michaels and their prisoner exchange. And I think in the end, recently Meng is being sent back, but I don't know what happened to the 2 Michaels. So we're going to have to read on them pretty soon too. But let's look at Navalny because he's a really important guy. She was the CFO for Hawaii Way. But this guy, Alexei Navalny, is no doubt a political prisoner and is being most likely psychologically tortured. And I really got that auto hit when I first found out that he was returning back to Putin land. And I was very, very concerned. And I've been very concerned about Alexei because my name, Alexia, is actually the same name as him. It's just a slight difference in the dialects. So we share the same name, and I'm very concerned for him. So the top row are the 3 people that the universe wants us to know about Navalny. These are their intention. That's the 2 of Swords, the Fool, and the 3 of Clubs. This is a card of innocence. The Fool is him. So right now, this is him sitting in the middle in the 0 position. The 2 of Swords are people who are not in charge, who aren't making decisions. And the 3 of Clubs is not who you want to see. These are bad boys. That's like Putin and the Kremlin. Okay, now the intentions Okay, and this is the intentions of Navalny, Knight of Coins, King of Cups. So I'm not surprised to see that there. And this is what we need to know from the universe. The Lovers, the Moon. Oh, these are all major arcana. And the Mob, the Six of Clubs. All right. What we have here is in the very top position is the Two of Swords. This is actually a partnership, but it's not the kind of partnership that we normally think of as a partnership. This is like, I hate to say it, but this is like MBS and his father. These are two people who work together to commit heinous acts, because normally a partnership is an alliance. But what this is basically a conspiracy. And the conspirators against Navalny. Here's Navalny. He's sitting in the innocence position. The 0 is the very first card in the tarot deck. It's the card of ultimate innocence and childhood. It's going in with, it's also going in without being prepared. And it's taking a deep dive off a cliff. So what it's saying is he basically sacrificed himself falling off a cliff knowingly, because he went in with both eyes open, knowing he was going to take a dive. So this he considers a personal sacrifice, his life as a personal sacrifice. That's what that's saying, because this is him right now. Okay. This is the Kremlin, the 3 clubs. These are bad boys. You don't want to see the 3 of clubs. This is a totally group mentality. Oh, you can just see them. They're the ones who are actually sitting at the court making the decisions, order under, Putin, the parliament. I don't know much about the justice system, but this is essentially the indictments in the justice system at the Kremlin and in Russia, and the players. I don't have names for these guys. Okay, now the intentions, we'll go straight to the intentions of these guys. The intentions of the bad boys is to psychologically destroy him, to torture him, to take him out, and also to turn his followers against him with psyops and dirt. So they've already started making him out like it's actually a real criminal. And they're getting traction on that. Okay. Underneath Alexei Navalny is the Knight of Coins. These are his rescuers come to take care of him. There he has a huge army of supporters. This is the faction with the people. But these are people with resources. This is not the government. These are not like plebes, like lowlives. These are rich, corporate, resourceful, media. They're his rescue, the 9 of Coins. So he's got his team backing him up. So he knows that, because he did take the dive off the cliff. The fool jumps off a cliff holding a bag. Okay, that's the Fool card of innocence or stupidity. Okay, so the King of Cups is Putin. He wants, this is Putin's position underneath the 3 of Clubs. Okay, so of course he's in control, but normally you see him in control of evidence and control of data. This is him controlling emotions. So his intention is to control the emotions of the country, because he doesn't have any hard evidence or facts. See how he's holding a cup sitting on his throne? And what he really wants inside the cup is the head of Alexei Navalny, because he's so angry that he didn't die. Because Putin will always be remembered as the underpants warrior or the underpants poisoner. And here he is, Mr. Underpants Poisoner, sitting on his his hiney with his cup of poison that he put in Alexei's panties. But he's so upset because Cups is like, oh, just wham, feel sorry for me. So his intention was to assassinate Alexei, but of course he was unsuccessful. So now he wants to play on the emotions by turning the story around, which he's already making progress, I understand. Now, once again, this partnership, these are two people, not a group. These are the two of swords. It's temporary. They're in it for the skin. Okay, it's a quick and easy job for them and they're out of there. They're not sticking around, to find out what happens to Alexei in the end. They're just there to basically perpetrate the psyops to turn the people against Navalny so they will forget about them. Because if we forget about Alexei and we don't keep him up in the news, I think we are all very aware of how fickle the news cycle is. So having a psyop right underneath the lovers cards saying that these players, these lovers, are counting on the fickleness of the American public and the rest of the world to turn their eyes away from Navalny and just forget about him. Go into a wasteland of social media CPAC crap. Okay, now underneath Alexei Navalny right now is the moon. He's in a place of darkness. Okay, he is in a position of futility right now. And he is crying and desperate. So we definitely want to resend our healing to him because I'm not sure he planned this sort of outcome. So once again, Alexei Navalny, we haven't forgotten about you. Here's a huge group of 4 people. That's enough. You would be shocked what one woman could do. Look at what Stacey Abrams did in the state of Georgia. Come on. We send Reiki, once again, to the desperate situation. At this moment, he's in a position of futility, doesn't have to stay there. The final outcome is the 6 of clubs. It's the victory. He will win. This is why we must give him hope. He feels hopeless. He's going to win. He's going to win. You see how it's not going to be okay in the end for Mr. King of Cups. Oh, boo-hoo, poor me, Putin. No. In the end, Alexei wins and he will be free and he will reattain his liberty. But we have to understand this is not an easy thing. So please, let's keep the focus up in the media, okay? And I don't spend my time watching CPAC videos. There's no point to it. It takes too much. Let me put it this way. It takes too much energy for me to process that QAnon stuff. What I preferred looking at is slides from neurosurgeons and neuroscientists of CAT scans of people who listen to Rush Limbaugh for too long, because it turns out that you can actually find the brain anomalies in their CAT scans. Okay, so yeah, this stuff is dangerous. Misinformation. So, all right. Da-da. You love neuroscience, right on. I do too. I think it's fascinating. The modality I use is a little bit similar to Heller work, or it's kind of like a combination of I do Bowen therapy out of the Australian Academy. It's a lot like being a chiropractor, only there's no thrust maneuver. It's like taking a spaghetti noodle and flipping it over and playing guitar at the same time, because you set the frets on the tone on the harmonic. And so what I do is I set a set of what's called sympathetic stoppers on the neural stream through the hypothalamus, which is just below the pineal gland in the skull. And I flip it over like a spaghetti noodle. It's kind of like a maneuver you have to practice and get certified to do. And so what happens neurostructurally, because it's an actual neurostructural technique, is that it releases the fascia at the insertions. Now, what does that mean? It means that muscles that contract all the time, that never release, that form a knot, like you can go in and massage them, but there might still be a knot afterwards. This will go into the central nervous system and turn that switch off that's contracting that muscle. And boom, no more muscle contraction. It's very pain relieving for people who get migraine headaches and stuff like that. To have those spasms stop just like in an instant, bam, like that. Extremely effective technique. And we work a lot on Parkinson's disease, lupus, all these weird diseases that cerebral palsy, nobody else knows what to do with because a lot of it affects the brain chemistry. And so when those muscles are released at the base of the hypothalamus and the glands at the base of the skull are reset properly, the brain detoxes a lot. We've taken before and after CAT scans on my patients. The lesions are gone after I work on my patients. Yeah, it's great stuff, but I can't do it over the internet. It's like you have to be here. So, yep. I do virtual Reiki, however, because that Reiki works virtually. Hey, Marie, great to see ya. Happy March 1st. Okay, so we did a quick dive at what's happening on March 4th, and basically the word is nothing. They ain't going to get real far. It's just going to be the kibosh on whatever they were planning. Ha, ha, ha. And I'm getting that the 19th is the next attempt because the number 19 came up this week when I was shooting all my Nostradamus. It just came up over and over. So on my channel, I do the numerology mostly. Okay, questions. Hi, Sharon. And in about half an hour, we're going to be doing our Topaz meditation. And let's go ahead and show everybody. I have a gorgeous fat London blue right here. You see it right on the side of my geode line right there. See, I'm moving it up and down. I've got a really fat London blue. And blue Topaz is especially throat chakra aligned. However, Imperial Topaz is the most natural. If you have any Oro, Prieto, or Imperial Topaz, grab it now before our meditation because we're going to want to use it. Any kind of topaz that you've got or any communication style stone, because the communication we're going to be talking about is everybody wants to be heard. Okay? The QAnoners, the Republicans, the people who think that the election was stolen, they want to be heard. And in order to be heard, they need someone who listens to them. So when we want to be heard, we need to listen. So the best way to open communication is by opening the listening channel first, is to listen. So I like to listen to music and listen to jazz, and it opens my communication channel, or silence. And that's when we say clearing. It's like clearing out our eustachian tubes and clearing out our sinuses and clearing out our, and I'll show you one move you can do behind your ear. It's called Swatch the Bug, and you can do it yourself to clear out all that junk out of our heads so that we can listen. Yeah, if I had an Imperial Topaz, I would just put it right smack dab on my crown chakra. Right there. See, it would match my natural hair color so nicely. I'd just rest that baby. I'd get like on a pillow and just put the pillow on top of my head. So you have a little bit of time to set yourself up for your Topaz stream. Okay, so we read on Navalny. And in the end, he's victorious. He's going to be all right. But right now he's in a dark space. So we're sending him Reiki. And, what was the other question? Let's look at America's forecast for this week. Because the energetics are kind of off. And the sooner America can retune herself, the better, because I think that having that re-influx of the Orlando thing, I didn't watch it because I don't gain any benefit from watching other people go off that way. But I think a lot of people saw it and now they're just thrown off again. So let's look at the energetic attunement for America this week and how we can re-attune ourselves so that we can get back on track and get back in our swing. Okay, because we want to get our game on because it's vaccine city, man. People are lining up. The distribution is amped up this week. Okay, so let's look at our forecast, and if we're lucky, we'll get an Ace of Swords because that's like a vaccine distribution. Oh, holy! Okay. Let's look at the energy forecast for America this week. It's vax distribution. Game on. Let's look at the energy forecast for America this week. Let's look at the energy forecast for the United States this week. Okay. 3, 4. Ooh, whistleblowers are out. Big time. Overseeing is the essence. Justice. Whistleblowers. Okay, so this is justice. Guys like Letitia James. Oh, Merrick Garland. We've got a Garland confirmation coming up. Knight of Swords. This is the DOJ. This is cleaning up the DNI. This is confirming Merrick, is that his name? Hi, cardomancy. Yeah, grab those crystals. Okay, so this, I would say we need to get that guy confirmed. Unfortunately, at the center of America this week is the CPAC in the media. What this saying is the media is going to want to bombard us with CPAC's briefs. And I found out that's because a lot of channels and stations have their viewership down. I mean, mine's small, so even mine is down. I usually have at least 12 people here. But that this is news suppression and censorship. So what we're saying is we're going to be blasted with GQP and QAnon in the media this week. Bummer. But that's just what's on the forefront, like a facade, like a store window. Behind the scenes, the whistleblowers are busy putting together the indictments for criminal justice on its way. It's on its way. This is justice on its way against former guy. Ooh. In the recent past, this would be like last week. Okay, so this is, once again, this is the guys who left Congress, who walked away from the vote on Friday to go to CPAC. See the members who, I wonder if they're going to be looking into and uploading some sort of legislation regarding the fact that there was a group of GOP senators or representatives, I'm not sure who, who filed for proxy votes on Friday and took off to go to Orlando, claiming that it was for COVID reasons. I wonder if they're going to make a ruling against that. I'll bet you that's what this is going to be. There won't be any judgment, but it looks like they're cooking something up. Yep, at the Page of Swords says they're cooking it up right now over that BS about them leaving to get the proxy vote on Friday. That's not legit. Sorry, I'm just moving around here so you can see me. Okay, so right now, yeah, this is the office, the secretary typing up the paperwork. She's typing it up right now because it was a betrayal. They weren't allowed to just leave and vote by proxy. So that's what's going to be up this week, is we're going to see something, activity regarding whoever took off office on Friday and didn't show up to vote and file proxy paperwork. They're going to be calling them out. They're going to be calling them out. They're typing it up as we speak. Okay, because that's a lot of swords, you guys, and a lot of knights. There's a lot of people who are tired of this BS. This is them getting away with stuff like, no. You've got accountability now. This is another administration, another ball of wax. Oh, I love tuning forks. Oh. Now, I'm not sure how aware you are about the fact that different minerals vibrate at different frequencies. Okay, so we know that A440 is how many beats per, well, that's, cycle, beats per cycle. So 440 is the A, right? So each tone has a number on our human constructed scale, for real. Okay, now minerals have numbers too, but they beat really, really fast. So we know that quartz is used in clocks because it counts, the little timer counts the number of times the little quartz crystal beats, and then it logs 1 second. I think it's like 600,000 beats or something. It's quite a few. And then boom, another second logs on the digital timer. And then it just flips a switch and moves the hand if it's a mechanical watch. Okay, so each crystal beats at a different frequency. So the frequency of topaz, I don't have it as a number or anything like that. Let's just, for the fun of it, get out our number card and find out the frequencies of topaz. This is why I love being a tarot reader, because there's different impurities in each crystal family that gets those colors to come out for you. And so the ones who are heat treated are irradiated so that they shine a little bit more. Like this one is most likely heat treated. Okay, this one, okay, this blue one here is most likely heat treated. But the Imperial Topaz, which I have on my thumbnail, is not heat treated. See, that one's really dark. I like some of these lighter stones, frankly. Well, what number do we want to tune into here for our meditation? Because don't worry, we'll go live on More Politics on Thursday nights. What number do we want to tune into for our topaz? It's going to be up there. So we want to be communicating at a frequency that's clear by focusing on clearing our heads so that we can listen more purely. When we become good listeners, that's when people feel heard. Okay. And they'll reciprocate by listening to us, of course. Okay. Our numbers coming up are, 2. The major arcana 2. We have a 6, which fell out. Cards don't fall very often. 26. And then how many thousands of cycles? 26 is actually the half cycle of a subgalactic spin for our subgalaxy. The Earth is our sun, Sol, is in the Milky Way galaxy, but we're in a side. There it is. We're in a side galaxy. 10. Ooh. Okay. So that's 260. That's a low frequency. We need to go down. Okay. If you're thinking of A as 440, I'm buffering. If you think of A as 440, 260 is going to be way toned down. So that's like an E. That's like the low string on your guitar. Okay, so we want to tone down, okay, to a lower tone. Oh, your Larimar. Oh, Larimar is so wonderful. And yes, you could absolutely use Larimar for your communication method. All right, so we're going to do one more reading. Let's see. That's interesting that they're going to call out those guys who took off on Friday. Because they did, when those people were going through the metal detectors with all those weapons and stuff, they put together a set of rules. The House Rules Committee said, no, you got to go through the metal detector. So 260 is our frequency. 260. Okay. I want to ask a real quick question of Nostradamus. How can we best help people who've been subjected to Rush Limbaugh and other garbage reintegrate into society and overcome their delusional social media programming? Because I have family members who've been subjected to that, who are like, I have to deal with. How can we, because Nostradamus is all about beliefs and belief systems. That's why it's so accurate. It's not really as predictive. It's predictive in the way that if we continue down this paradigm, this is going to be how it's going to look. But it's not set in stone. It's like if we can pull our heads out of the sand like a bunch of ostriches and running off cliffs like lemmings and fools like Navalny and because he ran himself off a cliff. There's no doubt about that. He has to take personal responsibility for getting on that flight when he knew what was coming down the pike. But at the same time, we love and adore him. Okay. How the Nostradamus works is by showing us our belief systems. And when we look at our belief systems and we atonement is saying, I'm sorry, I did something wrong. Attune to the proper frequency. So we need to slow ourselves down, speak with a deeper voice tone, and go down to 260 hertz. That's all right. That sounds like a Swedish accent. And look at the belief systems that will lead us down a path we don't want. So let's see how we can reunify our belief systems to assist those who've been programmed, who are open to being deprogrammed, who don't want to be doing that Rush Limbaugh kind of style stuff no more. The Pope, he says, have compassion, pray for them. Yeah, the Pope. Okay. All right. We should tell them what the Pope said. This is what the Pope said. Quote, you cannot practice hatred during the day and pray to Jesus at night. Unquote. What this card from Nostradamus is saying is we should quote the Pope. We should tell them that the Pope, Pope Francis, the leader of your religion, please follow his words that says, do not follow Donald Trump. The Pope said, don't listen to Trump. The Pope said that practicing hatred is the definition of blasphemy. The Pope says that to practice hate during the day and pray to Jesus at night is the very definition of blasphemy. So Nostradamus says one way to get through to them is to quote the Pope, the leader of their religion. Okay, now I'm just going to pick 3 cards. Oh, this is beautiful. This is actually really, 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 really sweet, you guys. The first is the 10 of Suns, the coming together, the reunification. This is a card of complete and total unity. This is everybody getting rid of their I voted for so-and-so, nitpicky little blah-de-de-blah, and us also not name-calling others like QAnoners. We got to not be doing that. And us sitting down and breaking bread together. It is also the end of a lot of isolation and pandemic paradigm. This is saying we're all going to be getting together in person. Excuse me, I had a little glib there. This is the great reunification of America starting at our dinner table, so that the reunity comes from the family first. And so that the people, get together for dinner and don't talk religion and politics already, okay? That's basically the 10 of Suns. Just get together and have a hug, okay? That's really, really sweet. It's a feast, you guys. It's breaking bread together. It's wonderful. It's a smorgasbord. All right. How else we can reunify and break bread together is the 3 of Spheres. This is science. This is quoting science. Yes, we can quote the Pope, but we got to talk science. And they may not be open to listening, but this is the meeting of the scientists. This is the ultimate card of the science. There is no card that is more science than the 3 of Spheres. Okay, we need to just talk the science. We need to talk the science. We need to be real around these people. This is also a heralding or a pretense of, once again, a reunification of the party of 3. So this is also America getting together, the 3 branches of government. Yes, reunifying, getting Congress, SCOTUS, and POTUS to work together. Okay, right now we're like a bunch of mismoving parts on some funky, RoboCop that went wrong. This is us getting a functioning set of government branches and calling out the trash. Marie says, she's rephrasing. The solar system makes contact with the center of our galaxy every 2,600 light years. Really? I didn't know that. I know that there is a galactic spin or a subgalactic spin that the solar system where the Earth resides has a star in the center. And we're on kind of like what's known as an arm, and it's kind of in the outskirts of the Milky Way. And so we have easy access to visitors, kind of like, Hitchhiker's Galaxy kind of style. We have easy access coming and going, like for interterrestrial spaceport. We are well situated. And our subgalactic spin corresponds to 52,000 Earth years. And so every 26,000 Earth cycles, we experience a subgalactic paradigm shift, which we're going through right now, which is ginormous. Because if you think about it, these orbits are not do not have a single focal point. They are usually multifoci. And what that means is they're traveling in some elliptical spin. And so what we're talking about when we talk about the number 26 with zeros on them, just to get the 10 at the back was lots and lots of zeros, or 26 times 10, which is the frequency 260. It's all about the flip, okay? The flip. For example, the winter solstice is a flip. The summer solstice is a flip. Now we're going through equinox. It's a time of evening. So evening, as in making things even. The days are evener. So we don't have such huge dynamic shifts. On the equinox, you can put an egg in water and it will stand up all by itself, because the balance and the forces, G-forces on the gravity of the earth are equal. They call it the equinox. So we're moving towards equality. We're moving towards evenness. The same amount of day, the same amount of night. Okay. This, once again, is the reverse world card. The second time we have picked this up today, and I have never, ever, 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 ever gotten a reverse world card before. This is the Q. It's QAnon. We got to call out QAnon to these people. We got to say, hey, look, you guys, that's QAnon. Why do you fall for this crap? And just tell it like it is. Just tell them that's a QAnon theory. It's not real. And just have the balls to say it and call out the QAnon-y crap. This is the Q. It's the dark web. It's a misinformation. It's the internet being flooded with garbage. It's censorship. It's internet non-neutrality. It's the dark web. It's the Q, the reverse world. It's also the resurrection of Jesus Christ, and you can give it a literal date of Easter. Okay, and we're coming up on Easter. It's like big. This is Lent. So you can see Nostradamus is the deck that puts the time frame and the time element in. We've got to tell them what the Pope said. Just quote the Pope. Quote the Pope. Get together for dinner. Don't talk religion and politics. Talk science. And call them out. And when they start with that QAnon crap, just call them and say, that's just a QAnon conspiracy theory. That's not real. And then change the topic. See, look, that way we can all get together with our friends, neighbors. Yeah, just call them out and just say, hey, that's just a QAnon thing. Nobody believes that. I got together with a person about 6 months ago, and we were talking, and she's not like into conspiracy. She's just a normal, regular, everyday person, but she watched some misinformation, and she like made some statement, and I go, oh, you didn't know that that's not true? And she's like, what? And I'm like, oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. And I just gave her the truth. She's like, yeah, you didn't believe them, did you? And she's like, oops. And I'm like, oh yeah, you mustn't believe that stuff. And she got it. She totally got it. She's like, oops, I fell for it. Yeah, don't believe that stuff. Just tell them, don't believe that stuff when you see it. It's just TV. It's fake. Yeah, Bunny Day, Easter. Now, real Christians celebrate Easter. Christmas is like an aside. The real holiday is Easter, the resurrection, the renewal. Now, eggs are, I don't know where they got the bunny. What's with the bunny? Is that a fertility symbol? Like they just make babies like crazy? I don't get the bunny. But I do know about the egg being a symbol of fertility in the old religion. These are my topaz. It's time to get out the topaz, guys. We're going to get all mellow now. Yeah, in the old religion. Think about communication. If they wanted long-range communication, they would light a fire on the mountaintop. Or if they had like fjords and they were in Sweden. If they were in Africa, they brought out a set of drums, and the drums had a lot of language to them. And then I think they also used mirrors, so they started the Norse code. So they used light waves to do long distance communication. This is telecommunication, old world telecommunication, guys. They lit a fire on the top of a hill, and they took mirrors and they flashed lights and codes, and they had each set of hills set up, and they would send the code from hilltop to hilltop, and that way they could make it all the way across the kingdom within a matter of minutes with an entire message. Yep, old style fire communication. And then the Africans, I know for real, because I am part of the African Awe tribe. I play Congowi, and the actual beat is like words. So when they beat this song, they know it's that message. And when they beat that song, they know it's that message. And then when the lead drummer goes in and he bangs out the lead, he's sending the message. And so they send it. And then the next group would get up and start banging, and they'd start banging all the way across the kingdom. The whole place would go off with the drums. Marie says every 26,000 years, it's the end of the precession of one of the 12 astronomical cycles. And so that's why we're moving from the Piscean age into the age of Aquarius. The position of the karmic and time to eliminate and get new starts and new consciousness, higher energies, and meditation. That's right. Yes, for anyone who was able to see the Oracle Tarot, which I brought up, it's going to be a lot about new architecture and design and innovation. From Metatron. Metatron came to the reading that I uploaded on Sunday. Very, very sweet. Have I had crystals cloud over from holding them? Only when the crystals are not clean themselves. I just cleaned the crystals. So they are pulling junk away from you. Okay. And yes, you have the telekinetic ability of charging crystals, which I also have. Okay. Now, when they cloud, that means you're putting junk into them. You really want to clean them before you charge them and after you charge them. That means you've got excess energy you want to eliminate and spend more time with salt baths. This fluorite, you want a fluorite. They're cheap. You can get one at the stone store for $1. You can channel excess energy through your fluorite and pull all that junk out instead of charging your more valuable crystals with your excess negative energy. So if necessary, you can look up the fluorite meditation. We did that recently. Part of the reason you're cloudy, it's cloudy to begin with, is when you're cleansing your crystal, you're not adding salt to your water. Okay, I literally have done the experiments in the laboratory. Crystals form, and these are crystals, not pieces of glass or just a plain old rock. Okay, this is not a crystal. This is an agate. Okay, we're talking a crystal. This is a fluorite crystal. Okay, I just soaked them overnight in water and salt in the full moonlight. And you can still bathe them. We're on a waning moon. It is not too late. absolutely tonight give your crystals a salt moon bath. Myself personally, I soak in Epsom salt. And you got to use as much as it says on the bag, 2 cups. I mean, you got to load it up. So, and I am certified. It will not harm you to put Epsom salt and soak it in your bath. If you don't want to do the full bath, just soak your feet in Epsom salt. Oh, your celestite. Okay. Celestite does not appreciate heat. She needs a cooler space and also large energy discharges. She might be too close to an electrical outlet. Okay, I don't know if you know how to find your electrical outlets on your walls. There are electrical panels. You've got to keep the more tender crystals away from high voltage sources. Celestite is too sensitive. She wants to start cracking because she needs to be cooled down. So when you bathe her in cool water in the moonlight tonight, she's going to be very happy. And I know this is shocking to believe, but crystal lattice structures repair themselves. The way the lattices work, and I've done the experiments, it's called a phonon. What happens is when a subatomic molecule is hit with energy, and crystals are sensitive, so we're working with small energies, electron volts. You don't want a lot of energy, you want a little. You want to be small. It knocks off their structure, and that's why they start to crack and cloud. So those are impurities. The cloudiness is in the impurity, and the crack is from the crystal structure lattice literally being like smacked. So they can heal a little bit. Once again, tonight, moon bathe in water overnight on your windowsill if you have nowhere outside, but if possible outside. It doesn't matter if it's cloudy or raining. The crystals don't care. It rains all the time and clouds. And I'm not kidding. You will be shocked the way they look. I just bathed this one and it was so cloudy. And this is a man-made lead crystal. It was so cloudy and icky the other day. And look at it now. It's just gorgeous. Gorgeously cleaned up for our next fortnight. Okay. And then there's new moon rituals too. But go ahead and focus on the full moon, waning moon, and there's plenty of moon bathing left tonight. That was an outrageous Virgo full moon. I'm pretty sure we're already into Libra or Scorpio, actually moon by now. So, circular marks inside the stone. Just keep it cool. Don't put it around heat. Yeah, and you can hold it and Reiki it once it's nice and cool and clean, and you've been clean and bathed, and then you can just send it a little healing by just holding it like that, and sending it love, because it picks up on the tone, that 260 hertz, like we're bringing our tone down. So today, let's focus on Topaz. Now, communication is a two-way street. Everybody wants to be heard. So we want to be good listeners. Now, one of the reasons I like this geode is on the outside of the geode, you can see the layers. And those colors are very close to the colors of Imperial Topaz. And they're blue, yellowish, golden, brown with clear highlights. And then, of course, our topaz can be multicolored. They come in pink and blue and all kinds of stuff. And this is a London blue. Let's vibe in on the London blue. This London blue, there she goes. Topaz is a very clear stone, So it's easy to find without a lot of impurities. Yeah. All right. So we want to focus on listening. Yeah. That's all we really need to do. Oh, look, it's already starting. This is amazing. Okay. I'm going to come up here for a second. Oh, great. Cartomancy's got her Imperial. I can already see that this topaz is starting to want to magnetize. Okay, you can see it's already magnetizing now. Here we go. All we're doing is listening and bringing our tone down. There we go. Listening and bringing our tone down. We're listening. Silence is golden. Topaz is, the energy's gold underneath the blue. Silence is golden. Communication begins with listening. When we receive a communication from a loved one, they can send it telepathically. They don't have to be in the room with us. They can send it through space and time. They don't have to be living in this time continuum. They can be communicating from a celestial time or space. Communication being received is a gift. Communication being received is a gift. Silence is golden. We are heard when we become good listeners. We listen and we are heard deeply when we clear our communication channels and we clear ourselves. Now you see how this crystal is starting, it's wanting to fall off the card because it's just pulling and pulling and pulling energy. Communication will come through your topaz crystal. Hello, Red Stacker. Do you have any crystals? We're doing a crystal meditation right now. You know, I would love to hear your comments about the Vatican regarding the Kushner-Khashoggi connection, because the Nostradamus Tarot, which I just uploaded the last couple of days, shows that the Pope is very much included in some activities, some very, very critical activities. Okay, but we're not going to go there right now. Right now, we're focusing on Topaz. Now, Topaz is a communication stone because it's clearing ourselves, clearing our channels, clearing our eustachian tubes of all that sludge. Yeah, so we can speak our truth and be heard. We want to hear you, Red Step Stacker, And we also want to assist you in clearing yourself energetically and lowering your tone. So when you speak, your communication is heard and people can take direct action to accomplish a goal. Yes. Red Stacker, that's awesome to know. I am extremely pleased to meet you. Absolutely. You're welcome to our group of chatters. We're extremely positive. Now, I think that we should absolutely look at this topic. We're right in the middle of our Topaz meditation. And so I want us to remain calm, okay, and focus with our stones. Do you have any crystals, Stacker? Do you have any crystals at your dispense? And we are going to be revisiting this topic on Thursday. Absolutely. It has been coming up in my cards, and Nostradamus is one of the only decks with the Pope. And when you have a chance to watch replay, you will see that I pulled up the Pope again today. In conjunction with odd things. So my experience is working a lot with stones, and we are thrilled to have open communication with our loved ones now. And the reason why is we've been isolated for a year, and it's time for us to start seeing each other again. So we want to have unity and peace, and a lot of our loved ones feel differently than we do. So they are the ones who feel unheard. We feel heard. Everybody here feels heard. Do you feel heard, Red Stacker? Do you feel heard, Katrina? I'm listening to you. We're on the chat streams. A lot of us also go to the Queen's Tarot and Mystic Bella, and we support each other and we listen, and we know a lot about what's going on behind the scenes and not in the news. That's right. So communicating in a way that you can be heard is all about having the ability to listen, and that affirms the person you're going to have communication with, because a communication is not a self thing. We're not talking about self. We're talking about communication with either a loved one who's passed or with somebody who's right here, right now, because we've had so much disturbances of just communication between community, neighbor, and family, or even the community on YouTube. And we are here to help absolve that. And how we're doing it is by using crystals. Listening, silence is golden. We want to listen to you because you have such important things to say. That's right. Okay, now, here is the healing technique, and I am a certified Bowen therapist that you can do yourself, all right? Always be gentle, and this is what you can do to help clear yourself. All right, now, aside from using your topaz or your other clarity stone, which could just be a regular good old quartz crystal, okay? The throat chakra is all about speaking your truth. We're past speaking our truth. We are past being aligned with our psychology. We are filled with the knowingness of our truth. We know our truth. Everyone here knows their truth and speaks their truth, okay? Now, yes, YT algorithms can censor us, but as far as our channel is concerned, we're looking forward to bringing in a variety of belief systems so that we can regain a planetary unity and focus on what is real. That's right. Humanity is at a turning point, a 26,000 year cycle paradigm. So when we listen, and you've got your topaz and you want to receive your communication from outside, wear it on your head, or just put your topaz right up on your crown chakra, kind of jimmy it with your pillows and listen. And your family member who is deceased will come in because you're quiet and you're listening. Okay, now here's what you can do. And this is actually right behind your earlobe. Okay. You see how there's a line? You don't want to go on this line. Here's the line. There are what are called tubes that actually release fluid out of your skull structure. Your maxillofacial skull structure is complex. And the ear has the only bone which is not attached to any other bone. There's a vibrating bone inside your ear. Okay, there's the eardrum and that pressure system, but there's a bone, okay, that floats in your ear. And when you start getting a lot of clogging in your eustachian tube, your balance will start to go, your vertical will start to go, and your immunity in your sinuses, which is extremely COVID susceptible, okay, and the new variant is more contagious, okay, you will lower your susceptibility by draining mucus out of, and we call it squashing the bug. So you see how all I've got, and each person's index finger is perfectly engineered to fit perfectly right, okay, and your earlobe. Now it's not that tiny little space where the dirt gets, where your mama always told you, wash behind your ears. It's not there. You want to move up, see, just a tiny bit. And you will feel what we call a bug. It's about the size of a ladybug. It's little. You see now how I'm off of that squishy point right behind my ear? I'm just below it. And you can feel it. It feels like a little lump, like a ladybug. And all you do is go squash the bug. Just imagine it's a ladybug that you don't want to break her little wings and that you're just giving her a little back rub. And that's it. You squash the bug. And then your other finger on the other side, take some time to find the ear. You know, ears have a lot of acupressures. Don't go right in that little spot. Come right off it till you can feel the bug. It's just the size of a ladybug. And you want to be as gentle with, and just boom, squash the bug. That's it. That's all you need to do. You're probably vibrating in your neck right now. That's all you want to do is squash the bug. That's it. That's enough. Drink plenty of water. Drink plenty of water. And I don't recommend laying down too much. Stay upright. Drink plenty of water. Just squash your bug and hold your crystal wherever you want. Silence is golden. We receive communication when we listen. And when the person we're communicating with, because we're talking about heart-centered communication between family members, human to human, when we listen, that person feels heard. And that develops a bond of communication. It opens the channel for real heart-centered communication. Oh, that's beautiful. I love your quote, Marie's quote. Now we have a chance to clear the path using our energy to allow the truth to be heard. That's exactly it. You've totally nailed it. We can clearly discern. We can clearly discern what is true and what is not true. And we can allow that which is truth to come in easily. And then just like a duck that has feathers, yeah, with oil on it, this other stuff just rolls up. We don't have to process it. Like, we don't have to watch replays of the weekend's convention. And if we see it come up in a post, it just scrolls by and we're not disturbed by it. And we're not susceptible to fall for lies and misinformation. When we hold a true listening space, yeah, we notice right away. We can feel that there's some untruism, and we can feel that lack of attunement to reality, and we can just tune right back in to what's real. And, let's face it, perception, our eyeballs, our ears, our belief system is completely subjective. Everyone has a different viewpoint from which they are viewing the perspective of the reality. So we don't want to take away someone else's perspective. Okay, for example, what card am I holding? The moon, the delusion card, right? No, that's not what I see. You see the moon. You see the card of delusion. This is what's on my side. No, there's no moon on my side. I'm seeing 5 of stars. I'm on the other side of the deck. Okay? You guys' truth is the moon, and my truth is the 5. So when you view an object from a different perspective, and that's the basic Heisenberg principle, yeah, it changes reality. It literally changes reality. So their perspective, that's what they saw. They saw that misinformation video. Okay, and we've seen them too. I know I've watched stuff that was really lousy, and I was like, nope, and it looked good for the first minute, and then you're just like, okay. So once again, we clear the path. We clear our listening path so that we can discern the energetics of truth and reality. When we discern that it veers from that truth and from that reality, we let it roll off us just like a duck in water, and then misinformation just scrolls past us. And then we use our time together to bond and hug and see our relatives, and we just gently correct them when they come up with that conspiracy stuff, and just go back to the science and just focus on facts. I know it's silly, a tarot channel that's focusing on facts. Ridiculous. Okay, everybody, thank you for the likes. Thanks for coming today. We're going to be looking at Ron Anand Johnson on Thursday night. It'll be a Thursday night stream for our political. And thank you for watching the Khashoggi videos, and thank you for sending Reiki to all political prisoners and Alexei Navalny in specific today. We are sending our heartfelt Reiki to Alexei Navalny. Namaste, everyone. Have a great day. Namaste. Have a great day. You're welcome. You guys are great. I love seeing you. Bye.